Hey everybody, how you doing? Welcome to Friday morning. This is January 27th of the year 2017. How is everybody? Happy to see all of you. Hopefully you can hear me. Let me know if you can. You should be able to see me. I'm guessing Paz can see me since he just said hello in the channel there. Let me turn that desktop audio down just a little bit more. Whew, that's loud sometimes. So, everybody ready for another exciting day of building a Django project very slowly? I was talking to a coworker of mine and saying how it feels like this is going ridiculously slowly. Because we're not we're getting like one or two things done each stream. But really that's not that weird because I'm spending like an hour and a half working on the thing each time, and that's pretty good for building a feature, right? So anyway, hi everybody, how are you doing? Yeah, are we ready to get started? Let's talk a bit about what we've done last time and what we've done so far. So we're building a website for people to come in and they can sign up and then they can record how they're feeling throughout a day or throughout, a month or whatever, and then they can come back and they can see how they're doing. So I think this is a cool idea. It's a neat thing for people to be able to do, and part of this that I wanted to do was add in a group aspect, so people could be part of a family, be part of a company. You can even do this as part of a community, I suppose, like a conference or something. But anyway, and because they have that, then you can see how everybody's doing. So that was what we've been building. So far, we have got a model to track moods, so that's cool. People can put notes on their mood, like you're feeling really sad, but, well, you failed a test, or you broke up with your partner, or whatever. I don't know. That's horrible examples there, but y'all get the idea. User auth, so you can log in, you can log out, you can sign up. People can actually record their current mood. The dashboard shows what you've logged recently. And then we even have the beginning of charts, because if I come over here, I have a chart showing how my mood was during the last live stream. You can see I was very W-ish. So yeah, so that's what we've done so far, and we still got quite a bit of stuff to go. Last week we started creating the group model, or the group abstract model, and then the family and company models that we're going to use to log these things. So that's where we're at. Chris says that they're trying to make a rectangular box with CSS. Can I help them? Pretty much all Django. Wow. Pretty much all HTML elements are some form of rectangular box, so put a border on it. And Matt asks, how is chat working this week? It looks like chat is working all right so far. I guess we will find out as we go along. Hopefully chat doesn't die again this week. If it does, somebody pinging me on Twitter would probably show up pretty fast, or leaving an issue on the repo. That worked well last week too. So if chat seems to go down, let me know. We'll correct it. Okay. Yeah, thanks, Pause. You can tweet at me and we will get things corrected. I've not found a good spot for this microphone with my new desk and monitor setup. So if you see me messing with it a bunch, that's why. I just can't find a spot where I like it. All right, so something else that... So here's the thing. So we have this group model, right? And inside the group model, we have when it was created at, who created it, the name, and the description of the group. That's all fine. And then we added two new things. We added the family class and the company class. These are both models that extend our group model. So these are concrete models as opposed to abstract models. And they just have, I mean, they're identical, really. They have this members thing. So something, ooh, excuse me. Something I was thinking about doing is adding in like an ability to mark somebody as being, like having elevated privileges within a family or within a company. But I think that's something we'll leave for later, partly because I don't know off the top of my head of a good way of doing this without, I don't know of a good way of doing this without using a generic foreign key, and I really hate generic foreign keys. So that, or we have to create a family member model and a company member model that are going to look almost identical. So, yeah, we'll see. Robert Parra asks, what is PHP for? PHP is a back-end programming language. So if you need to build back-ends of websites for whatever reason, and you want to use PHP, PHP will do that for you. Kaushik, hello, hi, how are you doing? Happy to have you here. If I said your name completely wrong, please do your best to correct me. I'd love to know how to say everybody's names correctly. All right, before I start on this, though, a thing I remembered was in PyCharm that I don't know if you've all seen, and I don't know if I've ever shown, is this little database tab. So if you click this, you actually can see your database, and you can be like, oh, cool, let me see, like, there's auth user, and then let me look at auth user, and cool, there's one user, and there's all of that user's information. So that's just kind of cool. I think that's neat. So, yeah, let's start with adding in the forms that we need for creating these things. So these are in users models. So we'll go to users forms. Dot import models. So class company model or company form. All right, and then we have to specify the fields that are being used. So what fields do we want to show? So we've got a company. We probably want to show, this will be for creating one. So we probably just want to show name and description, right? Because we'll handle the created by, and there won't be any members, not at first, right? Yeah. So we just want to show name and description. Name, description. Whew. I don't know about y'all, but I'm pretty tired now. That was a lot of work right there. So let's go ahead and make... Actually, you know what? Group form, forms.model form. Class meta. Fields equals name, description, group form, wow, what did I do there? There we go. Family form. And we have to super that, and I forget how to super that. Django, super form meta. Ibrahim, hi, how are you doing? Lars, calls me Keith, even though my name's Kenneth. Absolutely excited to see you live in action. Struggling with finding good alternatives for generic foreign keys. I'm looking forward to see how you'll tackle that. You're assuming I'm gonna tackle that. Yeah, so generic foreign keys are a problem in Django. They're really ugly. And the reason that they're ugly is because they require multiple foreign keys to things that you don't use. So a generic foreign key works like this, because these are fun, and these are not a thing that a lot of people know about. So if I look here in my model, in my database rather, y'all see this this table here that says Django content type. I know it's a little small. So if we look here at Django content type, oh, don't worry about it, Lars. People get my name wrong all the time. If we look at this, we can see that there's a column here called app label, and there's a column called model, right? So if I'm talking about my family model, I can say, okay, well, it's the row that has the app label users and has the model name family, right? I can say that it's that one. So that's cool. If I need to find this model somewhere without knowing where it's actually located, then I've got that, and that's cool. I can do that. So what happens with the generic foreign key is you do a foreign key to this row, to this user's family row, and then you would put in the ID of the users.family model that you actually want to connect to. So I want to connect to family number 5, right? So I have to do this foreign key off to the content type table, and then I have to do a foreign key off to the family table just to get the family. And while that's not that big of a deal if I've got 200 records, 500 records, if I get thousands of records, if I get hundreds of thousands of records, it becomes a really big problem. So I don't want to do that, right? Like, if I can help it, that's not what I want to do. So, yeah, let's not do that if we don't have to. I know there's a way to super that meta, and I just forget how to do it. I wonder if I can just do super. I don't know if that's gonna work, but let's find out if that works. Yeah, I know that's not allowed. Okay, let's go into shell. From users.forms, import group form. Super no arguments. Django model form meta super. I know there's a way to do this. If there's not, it's fine. I'll just go back and change that. But man, I'm almost positive there's one for how to do that. Django form fill? I don't think that's what I want. I don't think that's what I want. Danny writes a lot of stuff, but I think Danny's stuff there is older. Yeah. That's not what I'm looking for. Yep, that's not what I wanted. Let's see, what else do we got? We got class meta. My model form has a bug. Oh no. Better way is doing that. Yeah, and then he supers that, but that's not what I want to do. I want to super the meta. Ooh, that's a lot of code. That's ugly there. Okay. Django model form class meta. All right, whatever. That's fine. We're just going to do this the ugly way, and we're not going to worry about it. There we go. And then this is forms.model form, and same here. All right. Cool. All right. So there's our two forms. let's use one of them. We brought in generic there. All right, so class company create generic.create view. Yep, I imported forms. Cool. Form class equals forms.company form. And this should have login required mix in. I don't know where generic went. Okay. And then new, oh no, not there. Here we go, new file. This would be company form.html. Yep, go ahead and add that. Put that in. We're gonna override that in a minute. And we don't need that. Although that should be, oops, create a new company. Yeah, okay. And then URLs. Alright, cool. So, that should have that, right? So if we do run server, and I go to users, company create, it doesn't have a generic template name? I could have swore that had a generic template name. So that should be users / company form.html. Wow, okay, that's weird. All right, so let's try creating a company. This will be an obvious one. Treehouse, online learning platform for programming. Not null. Yeah, that's true. Okay, so now def form valid. So if y'all remember, we did this on a previous one right here, where when the form is valid, we log them out. So what we're going to do here is we're going to do form dot instance dot created by self.request.user. And then, do we have our models imported? We don't. From dot import models. Models dot no. Now we want to do, let's go look up form valid. So how's everybody doing? Any interesting plans for the weekend? Anybody? Anybody got anything fun going on? Okay, so that's gonna save it. That's gonna do the redirect. So let's do response equals super dot form valid form. Then we want to do self.instance, or is it self.object? Self.object dot members. Yep. members.add self.request.user self.object.members.save return response. Okay, let's see if this works. Pause is doing your home net. Oh, you're doing your home network this weekend. That's fun. Anything interesting about your home network, or just standard Wi-Fi stuff like that? So right now, we're just going to redirect back to the user's dashboard. We probably would want to have some sort of dashboard for the company, which means I'm thinking we might want to make a groups app and move our company and family thing out to there. But let's find out. What do you mean company form isn't found? It's right there. Whatever. No? This probably made like 8 different companies. Okay, cool. So now let's look at the database and see how many companies got made. User company members. Yep. And users company. Yep. All right. So let's sort all of those, delete those rows. All right. Company members. Delete all of those rows. Okay. All right. So now let's go back to where we were. Hit create. All right. So that did something. We don't know what yet, but it did something. And if we come look in our admin, and we look at companies, company object, name is Treehouse, there's that. There's the member, and there's who created it. So everything got set correctly, right? Yeah, Lars, if we come up with a good way to avoid those, and then you will definitely see how I tackle them. Roberto, I am indeed using PyCharm. Yeah. Pause is setting up a pfSense gateway / firewall to allow me to SSH into my gateway and issue magic wake on LAN packets. Oh, that's nice. Thanks for the kind words there, TechJutsu. I'm doing this weekly, so if you wanna see it another week, feel free to come on back. So yeah, what do y'all think? Do y'all think we should move companies and families out to their own app? It feels like we should, because I'm thinking right now there's going to be like a company create and a company edit and a company delete, maybe. All sorts of other stuff tied up into companies. There's going to be a bunch of stuff tied up into families. This might get messy. Better to do this sooner rather than later. Yeah, let's do it. Let's go ahead and move this stuff out. Okay, so I'm going to stop that. And start app. I'm just going to call it groups. There we go. And then inside groups, we're basically just going to copy all this stuff over. So delete all that. And then in here, there we go. Okay, so that's good. User models we don't need. Forms, we need these 2 forms. Groups, we need a new file, forms.py. Yeah, add that in. From Django, import forms. From .import models. Yeah, that's right. Okay. Models, nothing weird going on there. Yep, everybody's happy there. User forms. We didn't actually use that. Okay, close that one. All right, views. Take that one out. Put it into there. And let's see if it can handle that one. That one. Yeah, that'll work. And the rest of that shouldn't need to be imported. Imported, not inforted. Whatever inforted is. Alright, so then we're not using this models line. Alright. Get rid of that. This should be groups. Although I'm actually going to do groups/company. Companies. And then groups, let's make a new directory named templates. Make a new directory named, actually we can just call this companies. That'll work. So it won't be groups dt/ oops. It'll just be companies. And then we'll make a new directory that's families. And then those two can share whatever things they need to share. Let's move that to there. Yep. Okay, cool. Company form has now been moved to there. URLs. Let's change some URLs. urls.py. Yep, from django.conf.urls, import URL. And include. Yep. URL patterns equals that. I'm going to paste this in for right now, but it's going to get changed in just a minute. Sign up, I don't need to open admin.py. This one is actually this one. All right, and now we have the fun thing of moving all of the migrations. But this actually isn't that bad. So what we're going to do is we're going to do make my, oh wait, what did we forget to do? Anybody know? We forgot to add groups to our apps. Groups. All right. Now, make migrations group. What? Groups. Okay. Migrate groups. And now, we don't have any migrations that are in the database. Okay. We don't have any models that are in users, right? These are all, none of these should exist. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually do migrate users 0. And if we refresh this, those models are gone. And then I'm going to where's the delete? There's the delete. Do I have a git delete? Nope. Delete that. Because if I look at models, models is empty. Okay. So there's all that. There's all that. Okay. So let's check out version control. Let's see how bad this is. So unversioned files, we need to add all of those. So let's do a commit. Nope, not make a new change list. That's the weirdest thing. I don't get that at all. Do y'all get that? Because it doesn't make any sense to me at all. All right, so let's bring in groups. Okay, that looks right. Ooh, that's fun. Groups app for better organization. Commit. All right, should be good. Oh yeah, and let's pull up GitHub. I do believe I got this working. VCS git push. Let's try it out. And if it fails, then I'll just use GitHub. Oh no, it worked. Cool, sweet. Okay, so Admiral Shaw, I'm glad you think this is cool. This is fun to do. Let's fix these URLs. So what I was saying is I want to have these URL patterns. All right, let me just show you. So let's just do company patterns. And what we're going to do here is we're going to bring this thing down. All right, and we're just going to delete to DTC to there. And then we're going to get rid of that. Okay? So we just have this name, this name create. I'll get to your question in just a second, Lars. What we're going to do here is we're going to do URL and company include company patterns namespace equals companies. This probably needs to be quoted because it's a forward thing. Actually, let's just do this. That's easier. Okay, so what this does is our company pattern, our URL patterns reference the company patterns, and they give them a namespace of companies. So now, when I come back over here to my standard URLs, which are right here, and I copy this, I'm going to take all of that off. And from groups, import URLs as group URLs. So I'm going to turn this to group URLs, namespace groups. I'll put that one down there, though. Might need that. We'll find out in a second. Okay, so Lars, why did I use 0 and then delete and not just normal migrations? So the reason I used 0 is to get rid of the tables in the database, and if I remember correctly on this, if I look at this, there's no user migrations that have been applied in the database table that keeps track of migrations being applied. So what I did is I got rid of the tables, and I got rid of the migrations having been run, right? So you can see there's a gap right here between 14 and 16. There should be a 15 right here. That's where users was, right? So by doing that, I keep the database in a good normal state. And then when I delete the files, I, delete the files, and I don't have to deal with them anymore. So that's why I did that in that 2-step. So, we're still running? No, we're not running. Run server. From feelings.groups, import views. Oh, that's here. So let's just say from dot. Let's do that here as well. That, and then those are fine. Yeah, okay. So save that. Save that. Okay. So now I should be able to go to groups, companies, create. Yeah, I'm wondering if it's this one right there. Or no, wait, that would have just been company. Yeah, so this should be groups. Groups is there. And then company. And then create. Oh, I did companies. Uh-huh. Cool. There we go. So now the URL works, right? And this way we've got our URLs a little bit more nicely set up. So let's go back to our dashboard and let's show the groups that we're in, right? So where is our dashboard template? Here's our dashboard template. Okay. So we've got the form there. Our perfect fourth is around down there. So I think I want to show maybe I'll just show them right down here. Hey there, Marine. How are you doing? Yeah, I'll just show them here. So div class call md6. And then here, let's go back over here to get bootstrap. Y'all have seen me use this a few times. Components. And let's come down here to, where was that we found last time? It was list group. There we go. List group, and we want these to be a linked item, so I'm just going to copy this. Oops. Yeah, that's fine. Paste that. And then indent all of that correctly. Thank you. Okay, so now, if we look... Ooh, dashboard. There we go. If we look at the dashboard, we can see we've got this Kraz Justo blah, 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 right? Okay, so up above this, I want to do, say, H3, and I'll say companies. And none of these are ever going to be active, at least not for right now. And then we'll do for company in user.company. Should be companies. Yeah. Companies.all. And for. And then inside here, we want company.name. And I don't have any companies because I deleted all of them. So let's make a new company real quick. Groups, companies, create. All right. Treehouse, online learning for programming. I said something like that last time. I'm saying something like that again. Create, dashboard, bam, there's Treehouse right there. All right, cool. So we know that that worked. So, great. That's what I want. This is feeling a little weird to me, but we'll worry about layout later, right? All right, so there's company, so there's Treehouse. So I need to be able to go, I should be able to click on Treehouse and go see, like, details of Treehouse, right? So let's make a view for that. But you know what? Let's actually take, all right. New directory, views. New file, init. Yep, add it. Not going to be anything fun there, but add it. And then, so new file here, we're going to say company.py. And then we're going to add another new file here that we're going to call family.py. All right, and then inside views, delete all of that. Company.py, paste all that in, save it. Delete views.py. And inside here, from company import star, from family import star. Okay, and now let's make sure that that is still working. It is still working. All right. I will restart the server just to make sure that it's not a fluke. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. So that should be from .company and .family. And that should be from .. Cool. Now it's still working, and we know it's still working for certain. Okay, so those of you who haven't seen this before, what I've done is I've turned my views, instead of being one file, into being a directory. So now I can have multiple files. This way I can divide up my family and company views as kind of like their own things, right? So this is really handy, especially when you have a lot of things that maybe they're going to replicate or whatever. As long as you keep the names unique, then you're fine, and your files don't get ridiculously long. So, yeah. I could also just do in urls.py. I could say, actually, that would make more sense. Let's do that, because this is crappy. That's a bad way. Don't do it that way. Don't listen to me. From .views import company. From .views import family. And this will be company .whatever. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this to create. And then when I come back over here, I can change that to create. And so now it's company.create, and that's a lot nicer, right? Don't you all agree that that looks nicer? As far as like imports and stuff go. If you're part of our tech degree and you're hanging out in Slack with me, you'll often hear me say stuff like, well, this is where design comes in. This is what I mean by design. It's just laying this code out to where it feels nicer to work with the code, right? It's much nicer to go over here to company.py and mess with this stuff than it is to go anywhere else. Like to go to views and then find the company, create, or whatever. Like, this is much nicer. Okay, so let's do an edit view, shall we? And we'll just call this update, because it's create, update, delete. Update. You know what? We should have added slugs to our model. Let's go back and do that. I'm going to leave this alone. That's fine like it is, but let's go add slugs to our model. Okay, so that slug field, from Django.utils import slugify. Is that where slugify is? It is, but it's in utils.text. Okay. So that takes a bunch of quargs. Cool. Args quargs. Self dot slug equals slugify self dot name. But let's actually do this. Thanks, Roger. Okay, I want to make sure that the slugs are unique. You know what? This is the kind of thing we get. This is the kind of thing that we just go and get a package for, because I don't want to deal with this on my own. What up, Django packages? Not working today? All right. Because what I want to do is I want to make sure that the slug is unique. So if we've got 5 different people that put in Treehouse, we want Treehouse, Treehouse 1, Treehouse 2, Treehouse 3, and so on, right? So we just want to make sure that we're getting a unique slug. Unique slugify. That's probably what I want. What does this do? Preserve uniqueness. Custom slugify function better I18N. 3.5 or PyPy. Nice. AutoSlug field populate from. Oh, that's much better. All right, cool. So we're going to use this. So this is Django AutoSlug. So settings. Project interpreter. Add Django AutoSlug. All right, go ahead and install that package. Sweet. So that was AutoSlug 1.9.3. And so then here for this, we don't need that. From AutoSlug. Import AutoSlug field. So slug here is AutoSlug field. And populate from equals name. So I should be able to delete that. And this should work. We'll find out, right? That's been my motto for everything. So make migrations groups. Trying to add a non-nullable field slug to a company without a default. We can't do that. The database needs something to please fix. One off default now will be set for on all existing rows with a null value for this column. You know what? Let's actually just quit that. Come over here to the database. Come over here to groups company. Delete that. And groups company member. Delete that. All right. So now I should be able to run that migration cleanly. Why can't you do that? There's nothing in there. There's nothing in the database. Let's just add a default for now, and the default can just be an empty string. Okay. Migrate groups. All right. Run server. All right. So the reason that we're wanting a slug is because we want to have a way to talk about a group or a user, or not a user, sorry, a family or a company in a URL without knowing their like their primary key, their ID. So that's how we're going to use this. Okay, so let's make a new URL. And let's say edit. And then we're going to do a group here called slug, which is a hyphen and word characters, which that includes numbers as well. And we'll call this update. And here we'll say update. Does that sound an awful lot like the little music that plays when you start like a Treehouse course? Yeah, that's it. All right, it's from the same guy, so I'm not surprised, but that's pretty cool. Okay, so created by isn't necessarily that. Let's not mess with any of that. All right, so now let's close that one. Let's close that one. Let's go here. We need to make a new company, Treehouse Online. Learn to code online. Create. Sweet. So now I should be able to go to groups, companies, edit, and then the slug, which I'm going to guess is Treehouse. Update is missing a query set. Oh yeah, that's right, you are. So query set. No, I can just say model. No, I can't. So let's get smarter on this. So def get query set. Right? And get query set. Yeah, doesn't take any extra arguments. So let's come up here and let's say model equals models dot company from dot dot import models, or from dot dot models import company, because we shouldn't need any other model in here. So query set equals super get query set. So that's going to fetch all the models, right? We don't want all the models. We just want the models where this user is the owner. So, actually, I don't know what I'm doing. Why am I doing that? That's ridiculous. All right, get rid of this. So, here we go. Return self dot request dot user dot companies dot all. Done. All right. Oh, I'm being silly. So all we're doing there is we're bringing in the company you want to go edit has to be a company that you own, that you started. So it has to be one that you can do whatever stuff you want to do to. Okay, cool. So we have a problem, right? Because if I'm here, I see create a new company, but I'm not creating a company, I'm editing a company. So I want to be able to override that. And there just happens to be a thing in braces.views that is the set headline mixin that we will use. And we will say headline equals create company. And then here, def get headline, return let's see, I'm on Django 1.6. Edit self.object.name. Okay, and then in the company form, sweet. So now it says edit Treehouse. So we're going to do that in a couple other places here. And then over here, yeah, let's do it in here too. Headline. And then if self.object.pk, self.object.description, line breaks, else, get back basically what we had before, right? Okay. So refresh. Update view should have... It should have an object in the context, right? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So why did we get that? If self.object.pk. All right. There's no object. Why is there no object? There has to be an object because there's a form object. And I just did self.object right there. Oh, you know what? Yep. Yep. Thanks, Lars. It is just object.pk. Some days, y'all. Some days. So let's not show the headline. Let's do object.name else h3 headline. And that'll be fine because that way we'll get the create new thing, right? So if I go to companies create, then I get the create company, blah, 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 blah. Cool. All right. Yes, thanks, Lars. That was exactly it. Some days, there's days where you just don't think about these things. And that's fine. That's fine. There's days where you don't think about these things. Okay. In the form, let's change this instead of create to save. because save makes sense whether you're editing or creating, right? Okay, so we can edit, we can create. We don't have any sort of drop down for these. We don't have any way of getting to them. We'll get to that in a second. We need a way just to view the details of one. So let's add that real quick. So let's just do view. No, not view. That's a horrible name. Details. Detail. Detail view. Form class we don't need. That we don't need. That we don't need. Get query set is going to be that. Yep. Because you should only be able to see the details of a company that you belong to. You shouldn't be able to see the details of a company that you don't belong to, because that's just spreading around way more information than we want. So, you know what? I'm going to... Okay. Two things. First of all, I'm going to rename this file, because that's not a good name. Form.html is a good name. And that changed that to form.html as well. Here we're just going to say detail.html. And we're going to copy detail.html. Sure. And we don't need Bootstrap 3 on this one. And we don't actually need... So we know there's an object. We know there's that. So let's do h4, and we'll say... so h4, and let's say members. Let's hop back over here to the dashboard. And let's take this bit. And then let's say for member... That won't be a member. It will be... No, it will be. Yeah, it'll be a member. Okay. For member in object.members.all. Yeah, we'll leave this as a link for now, simply because we might end up wanting it to be a link. Like, maybe you can go check in on people if they allow that. We're gonna have to add a whole like security settings thing to this at some point. Okay, so now let's do this. And companies. Let's just do the slug. Okay, and then let's go back over here to the dashboard page. And this will do URL groups : companies : detail company.slug. We have to say slug equals. So back to the dashboard. There's Treehouse. If I click that, I get groups, companies, Treehouse. There's that. Now there is a member. I didn't do that detail right. It should be member dot user. Oh, wait. No, I think it's just that... Yeah, I don't have a full name. Okay, so let's put in Kenneth and Love. Save. Yeah, that's wrong. There we go. Cool. So Kenneth Love is me. All right, so now something else we might want to do here, though, is add in a thing where we say if member is equal to object.created by I class equals, I don't remember how the glyphicon things works. Okay, glyphicons. How do we want to denote that somebody owns the thing? Maybe the exclamation sign? That looks like a pretty good one. Yeah, let's do the exclamation mark. That's how we show that somebody's the owner. I mean, it's as good as anything else, right? Unless there's one here that y'all think is better. We could just do the user icon, I suppose. Just to show that they started it. Or maybe the star. Yeah, let's do the star. There we go. All right. So, class is... Didn't I copy that? Copy? Whatever. Glyphicon dash star end if. All right, so now if I'm over here, I get the little star next to my name. Now, there's nobody else that exists in this, right? So that won't work. Let's add a new user real quick. Test user. Nope, I don't want to save that. And we're going to call them test user. And they're test user at example.com. And we're going to save them. And then we're going to come over here to companies. Company object. And both of them. Save. Come back over here, refresh. And now we've got a user that doesn't have a star. All right? So, pretty simple way of just going, hey, these are the people in the thing. All right, cool. So, let's, what do we want to do now? We want to have the ability to get to the create and stuff from the menu bar. And if you are the editor or the owner, you should be able to go and edit this. So let's add that in real quick too. Because this is the detail view. The row, let's do it down here. If user is equal to object.created by, and if, let's do an HR, and then let's do a href equals URL. Ooh, that was a fun one. Groups, companies, edit, slug equals object.slug. Class equals btn dash default. And let's just say edit. All right. No reverse match for edit. Oh, that's right, because it's update. I was sticking with the whole CRUD thing. So I can hit update, and that takes me to the update page. Cool. I want to get a flatter button, though, because that's just too fancy of a button. We just say button? Oh, I think my theme is what's giving it the rounded thing. Okay, whatever. All right, so let's do a git commit for this because we've done a lot of changes. Unversioned files, that file. Okay, so let's say companies split out successfully. first 3 views, commit and push. All right, cool. So everybody feeling good? Everybody following along? Everything all right? I haven't gotten any messages on Twitter, so I'm guessing chat is still good. Just very quiet. Y'all are so quiet. Okay. So, let's add in that drop down thing, right? And I know that we're just using a whole lot of like bootstrap stuff, but that's kind of how this works, right? Navbar. All right, I want a drop down right there. Yeah. That's what I want. Okay, copy that. Layout. All right, so here is our nav bar. So that's our right side. So let's do this on the left. My thing is being so weird. Okay, so we just need ul class equals nav bar nav bar dash left. All right, and then we're gonna do it right here. And then let's grab all of this and sort it correctly. Navbar, that's fine. Okay, so here we're gonna say companies. Okay, so our top one should be URL groups companies create. And this should just say create new. Yeah. And then for company in user.companies.all, okay. For user.companies.all, and for, and then here's where we want to put in the detail link. So URL groups companies detail slug equals company.slug. And here we want to say company.name. Companies, create new, or Treehouse. And I suppose we could swap those around, but if you had a lot of companies that you were involved in, I guess. No, it makes more sense to have it like that. And then we might even want like a plus sign or something. We'll worry about that later. All right, so companies, Treehouse, or create new. If I click on Treehouse, I get here. If I click on create new, I get here. That's really all I need, right? Can you all think of anything else that I need? Because I think that's pretty much it. And if I click on Treehouse there, then that. Okay. Cool. So now, let's do the same thing, but for families. This should be a lot faster. The reason it should be a lot faster is we can just copy and paste a lot of this stuff. So, let's go there. Let's go to where do I want to be? I want to be in family. Family. Create, that's the same. Family form. create family, families, family form, families, 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 families. Jatasia? Can I explain slug again? Yeah, I can explain slug again. So let's look at, like, let's go over here to Treehouse, right? So this has Treehouse, yeah? Let me create a new company here. I'm gonna name this one Treehouse as well. Another Treehouse. This one sells toys and is just down the street. That is a legit place in Portland. So now you can see that I have two here that both say Treehouse. Oh, what happened? What happened to my slug? Did we not use this right? I'm going to look at documentation. Anyway, so the idea behind a slug is you take the title or the name of something and you compress it down into something smaller and that's fairly unique, right? And so the reason is because you want to be able to point to that thing using a ideally human readable name that is not ridiculously long, right? So in this case, we want to take the company name or the family name and we want to give it a unique slug. I'm really not sure why that AutoSlug there didn't work. Preserve it checking within the given constraints or globally unique. Pub date tells AutoSlug to enforce slug uniqueness of all items published on a given date. May reappear on another date if more than one field is given. Okay, I think we just want to say, all right, let me delete this row 2. Change that model. Where did we get? There it is. Okay, that should be always unique. Okay, so anyway, a slug is a unique, small, ideally human-readable way to refer to a particular record that doesn't necessarily expose any data about your database. So, like, for instance, so this is kind of a fun one. So let's go to teamtreehouse.com/community, and let's do help-182. Okay, so that right there is the slug, right? So what we're doing behind the scenes, somewhere behind the scenes, is we're taking whatever title somebody gave. So this person gave the title of help, and then in this case we're saying, well, there's 182 other instances of the word help as the title for a forum post. So let's just put that count out. This is the 182nd help that's been posted, right? So help 182 is unique. There's not another help 182, and it's an easy, simple way to refer to this particular blog post, as opposed to saying, okay, well, we need community/118, that, which is like the ID number or something like that in the database. Now, why would you not want to use the database like ID number? Well, that tells how many other instances there are total in the database, right? Like right now you can go, okay, there's 181 other instances of a thing named help, but you have no idea how many other forum posts there actually are, right? Like the total number of forum posts. That's not super important, but imagine if this was the number of people signed up for a bank account, right? So instead of getting some custom account number, you got the account number 1008, like 1862, right? So it's conceivable, if I can see that your URL ends in 1862, that I can go, well, there's probably an 1861 and probably an 1863 and probably an 1852, and I can start messing with URLs and start trying to find data and find little ways to break in. Now, this isn't some giant security concern. This isn't a thing that's like going to get you hacked or whatever. But it's one of those things that's like, well, if I don't have to give that little bit of data, I'd rather not give that little bit of data. You know? Like, if I can keep that one little thing secret, then I'd really like to. So that's kind of the point behind slugs. Okay, cool. So now that we have that marked as unique, I'm gonna bet I need to do a new migration. Yep. All right. So let's run the server. Okay, now let's go over here and do companies, create new, make a new one called Treehouse, toys, save. Cool, so now I have Treehouse and I have Treehouse 2, right? So if I go here, I get Treehouse 2. So that way we have this guaranteed unique slug. So I don't have to worry about the slug conflicting with anyone or anything else. So that's pretty important. Okay, so let's see. Company, we did all of that, and I didn't actually ever need that. Okay, cool. So I'm going to close that, and I'm going to close all of these templates until I get to the point where I'm going to start editing those templates. So let's see. We've got that. So we need to go handle our form. Our form's good, actually. We're done with that. So that's cool. URLs. So I'm going to basically take these. Yep. And change that to families. Family. Families. Okay, those are all used. Let's actually... Can I do refactor copy on both of those? I can. Check that out. To director families. Yep, that's okay. All right, so now let's change these here to say families. All right, now admittedly the family stuff is maybe a little bit weird simply because you don't necessarily like... The family stuff is a little bit weirder. You don't necessarily have multiple families, but for a lot of people, they have their biological family, the people they're actually related to or grew up with. And maybe they're not biological, maybe they're adopted or step or whatever. Foster, you know. But they also have their family that's like their friends or their colleagues that, you know, are really there for them. People that really, like, tie their life together. So my idea is that family is more personal relationships, and company is more business relationships. It's people that you work with. So that's why we would have these multiple things that people can create. So dashboard, let's take that one, put that in there. Oops. Say families, family, families, families, family. family. Sweet, there's that. And then layout, we should be able to take this drop down, duplicate it, say families, basically just do a whole bunch of this like find and replace. And you know what, there's probably a faster way for me to do this, but thanks to Vim keys, it's really not that hard to do, so I'm not too worried about it. Cool. So let's refresh this. Oh, site can't be reached because I didn't do run server? Or is it something else? Nope, there's an error. Okay, URLs. Oh yeah, I forgot to put a comma right there. Let's go ahead and put a comma there too, just in case. Python doesn't care about trailing commas, so just always use them. It's a thing I don't always do, but I really should. Okay, families. I don't have any families. Create new. The loves us. Which is probably what most people are going to put when they put in a family. Oh, there's a problem. Why did that show up there? Huh. Oh. Because I'm a dum-dum, and I put that into the wrong spot. Right, there's no family members. Okay, so let's go to company and delete that company. And then company members, that was company ID 3. So let's go ahead and delete that. Okay, cool. So now if I refresh this, okay, I don't have that. And let's go create a new family. And I'll say the loves and us. Save. And it still didn't work. Why did that not work? What is going on? All right. So that's forms. Let's look at views. Okay. So we're just using the form. That's all normal. Yeah, we don't ever reference the model name. Maybe I just needed to restart the server. Maybe it didn't pick up that change and refresh stuff. And let's shift refresh that. Create new family. Let's shift refresh that just in case. All right. Loves us. Save. Finally, there's that. All right. Cool. So there's that. And there's that. And since I created it, I can edit it. And then if I save it, I go back to there. Which really, if let's be smart about this, that shouldn't go there. We should do def get success URL, return reverse, groups families, quargs equals slug, self.object.slug. Take that out. Where's that at? 76? Okay, that's fine. Copy that. Paste it into here. And this should be companies. And then take that out. And I don't have reverse imported. Alt F4. No, not Alt F4. What is it? It's Alt Enter. That's it. Reverse. And then come over here. Reverse. So now, let's manually restart that. If I come over here to this treehouse and I choose to edit it, and I say just down the street, and I hit save, then I forgot to change this. Nope, that's not the one to change. Oh, that should say detail. Hey, 01001, you know what your name is? How are you doing? There we go. So that took me back to there. All right, cool. So we can add and edit companies. I don't think we're going to delete companies. That seems like a silly thing to do. But user can create company. Here, let's see. Let's do version control. Let's do a check-in. We want to add all of those. Family and company basics wrap up. Closes number 4 and 3. Closes number 3, number 4. Commit and push. And we should see these get checked off. Oh, it only checked off number 3. Close issue. Back to where we were. Move that over to there. Okay, cool. So, let's do the can leave part. Or the invite others. Which one do y'all want to do? We've got 30 minutes. Which one do y'all want to do in the next 30 minutes? Do you want to do the invite or the join leave? Leaving this up to the chat. I think I can do this in 30 minutes. We'll find out. Anybody? 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 Invite. All right. Pause wants to do invites. So let's try and do the invite thing. Yeah, the invite should be fun. I think I'm going to actually make a new model for this. So let's close all that stuff. Let's go here to models. And class invite models.model. And this will be email address equals models.email field. And from equals models.foreign key to user related name equals class invites. Y'all know what I'm doing here, right? Let's just say user. Okay, so then accepted equals models.boolean field default equals false. And UUID equals models dot char field max length equals 8. Default equals that. Class meta abstract equals true. Def there's not a create, is there? No. Of course, I could create a method. Yeah. Do I want this to be a class method? No, because in that case, I'd want it to be a method on the model manager, so I can do blah.objects.create. Right? Yeah. Hey, how are you doing? Glad to have you on the stream. Let's just do it the easy way. Args, quargs. If not, self.pk. So I want to check that this is a brand new one. This has not been done before. Python UUID. There is a UUID module, and I need to be able to get a UUID. But I want it to generate a unique one for me. So I want a UUID 4. Yep. Okay. So import UUID. Self.UUID equals UUID.UUID4. How big is a UUID? Import UUID. UUID.UUID4. .hex gets that. Is there anything else? No, not really. Okay, so probably .hex is what I want, and that's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32. So it's 32 characters long. That's all right. Let's do that. Let's just let it be 32 characters. Okay, so our length here is going to be 32. And it's going to be that .hex. Return model.save. We just call super. We don't actually return anything. Okay, cool. Super.save args quargs. Okay. That should work. Okay, so when I make a an invite, what I want to do is I want to have an email address that I'm going to invite, and then I'm going to have the, maybe it doesn't need to be email address. Maybe it needs to be, yeah, let's do this. Let's do from user, and let's do to user. And this is going to be created, received. So we almost have like a messaging thing, right? Okay, so there we go. So now let's do class family invite. This will be an invite. Pass. Because I don't need to do anything special there. And then... Oh, wait, yeah, I do. I need to know what family it's for. Family equals models dot foreign key. Family related name equals invites. This should be fine. All right. And then here, we'll say company, company, company. Okay, so those should both be good. And let's go back over here and stop that and make migrations groups. Migrate groups. Run server. All right, and then just in case we have to cut short, I'm going to go ahead and commit and push this. So models for invites, migrations included. Commit and push. Push. I wish that push would just like do it automatically since I've done the same thing every time, but whatever. All right, so how do we figure out who we want to invite to a thing that we're going to invite them to? So right now, let's look at this. So I'm here, and I've got my companies and I've got my families, and I've got my conditions that I can record. How would I find that another user is on here, and then go, yeah, I want to invite Lars to my company, or I want to invite Marine or Paz to my family? How would I do that? I stream every week, but I don't do C++. I do Python. What do y'all think? How would be a good way of doing this? Would it be that you just tell me your username and I type? Yeah, let's just do it that way. So let's just say I'm here on this page and I created this, so I'm going to invite somebody to it. So if I own the company or I own the family, then I can invite someone to join the company or the family. Right? But only if I own it. So let's do a new ahref here. URL groups companies. No, we want to do this as a form. There's just a name and then like a field to type it in, and then you can invite them, right? Okay, so we're going to do this as load bootstrap 3. And this would be bootstrap form. And right now there's no form there, so that's going to fail if I try and do it, so I'm not going to do it. Company.py. So our detail view is actually, it now has to have a form, right? So that's fine. Forms.py. Models. Okay, so now class company invite form. Forms.model form. Class meta fields equals to user. That's it. Model equals models.company invite. Right? That's kind of cool. Yeah, pause. You will have to know their username to invite them. So the idea is this has to be something that's a bit more in person, right? You have to know these people. Maybe we do it as username or email address, but yeah, it's got to be. Yeah, actually, let's not make this. Let's not do it like that. Let's just do this. Email or username equals models dot charfield, not models. Forms dot charfield. Yeah, we don't care how long that is. So def clean email or username. I need to clean just a single field. I don't want to clean individual fields, or all the fields. I want to clean individual fields. Where is that? There we go. So clean that, and then we just always return the data. Okay. So I would say like data equals self.cleaned data email or username. Right? Yeah. And then in the end, I always do return data. Okay, so that gets the data. So let's just do label equals email or username. Yep, okay. And then I've got to change this one. Def get context data. Context equals super get context data. Quargs context form equals forms dot company invite form. We're never going to feed any data into that because we're not going to tell them that what they did was yes or no. Like we will, but we're not going to worry about that for now. Return context. I just want to see that this works. Boop. There's that. There's that. Look at that. How nice is that? Okay, so I did not do this right. Form action equals something. Method equals post. CSRF token. And let's do bootstrap field. And this would be form.email or username, I think. And then layout equals horizontal. Wasn't that the way that we did it before? Yeah, that looks right. All right. Let's actually change this a little bit. Yeah, it's not perfect, but it's okay. All right, and then we want to do let's just do a button here. Input type equals submit, value equals invite, class equals btn-default. All right, so we will have to clean up the way this looks later, but there's the way that that looks for now. Okay, so what I want to do, I'm going to put in test user, and I'm going to invite them, and it doesn't know what to do at this point, right? It has no idea what to do because that view doesn't have any sort of thing. I'm tempted now to change this to a form view so that I have the post and the put and the stuffy stuff. Yeah, let's make it a form view. Form view, template name is that. Form class is forms.company invite form. So we actually don't need this part. Python's awesome. Python is a great language. Python can do all sorts of amazing stuff. Why would you not use Python? Your stream got cut. Your stream should not be cut off. I am still streaming, Lars. Still streaming. It went away for a bit. Oh, I'm sorry. That's not good. Where is what I want? Is it in Quargs? Maybe it's in Quargs. Let's find out. Equals Quargs slug. Return context. Okay. So that does not work. Okay. So could it be request.quargs? Name request is not. Oh, self. Wizard request object has no attribute quargs. Okay. You get an invite from Beam just now saying that it came on, that it went live. That's weird. I don't know. I don't know why I did that. That's interesting, yeah. Oh, come on, people. Tell me the thing I want to do. Tell me how to do it. Self.quargs? Does that work? Okay. Sorta. That sorta worked, right? Because if I'm over here, yeah, that should do it. Self.request.user.companies.filter. Oh. .get. No? Actually, let's just do context object. Do I have to use .get here? There we go. All right, so there's our thing there. There's that. So now that way we can override the get success data or get form valid and make the thing work, right? So in here we want to do try models.com. No. So I want to filter from Q. Yeah, dot first would work. I'm trying to keep it as the get, and then I'll do a 404 on it in a minute. Just because that's a little bit easier to deal with, at least for me. That's what I'm more used to, I guess. Advanced queries. That's not what I wanted. Query expressions. No. Hey, Mark, you just got here, huh? We're almost done, actually, with today's stuff. We are still working on our app that we've been working with, that we've been trying out. Okay, so what I want to do here is email equals data, or username equals data. Right, and that's going to do that. Okay. Except models.user.does not exist. Let's do a get there, actually. But if the user doesn't exist, then raise validation error. No such user. Else self.invitee equals... Actually, we don't even need that. We can just do this to be self.invitee. Okay. And then back over here and def form valid. Form equals, or response equals super form valid form. And then this is where I want to go ahead and create the thing. So I'll do models.companyinvite.objects.create from user equals self.request.user to user equals form.invitee. And that should be it. And then I'll return response. All right, because that's all the model needs. Oh, it needs a company. Company equals self dot object. I don't think that's going to work, actually. Let's do this. Self.object equals that. Context object equals self.object. I think that'll work. Let's find out. If it doesn't work, we will come back to it next week. Can I import name Q? db.models. Cool. And let's refresh. We've got that. And then test user, invite. No URL to redirect to. Provide a success URL. That is true. I did not. I want this one. Slug equals self.quargs.get slug. Def get object. That's it. That's all we're going to do. Okay. And then here, let's call self.getObject. All right. Okay, so now let's check in the database and see if an invite was created. And if it was, then we're good for now. Okay. From user 1 to user 2, there's the company ID, there's the UUID. It has not been accepted. It was created. So I'm happy. That's enough for now. All right. Check this in. Invites can now be created. Can't be accepted. References number 6. Commit and push. Push. All right. I'm actually over time, but I will hang out and answer a few questions. So we'll hang out for another 5 or 10 minutes or so. If y'all have questions, if you do, post them in chat. Any of the 3 chats will work, and we will talk about stuff. I will answer whatever questions I can to the best of my ability. And yeah, I'm a little surprised that it works pause, but it works. And next week we will handle the accepting the invites or rejecting the invites, because either way you can go, nope, I don't want to join your company. We'll pour all this over to families. We'll make it look nicer. We'll do all of that stuff that we need to do. And then we will move on to the API, probably the week after that. I think we got 1 more week of Django. So we'll do a month of Django, 4 weeks of Django, and then we'll move on to building the API with Django REST framework. Does that sound good to everybody? Does that sound reasonable? I think next week we can handle these 2 things. Invite others and join and leave. The join and leave would be, of course, assuming you didn't create it, or you're not the only member of it or whatever. But, like I've said, if any of you want to contribute pull requests, you are more than welcome to contribute pull requests. And we will merge them in, and we will, everybody will be happy and good. So there are plenty of issues that still need pull requests. Terry says, does Django have anything like Roar's scaffold? Ruby on Rails' scaffold. So it's been a while since I've used Ruby on Rails, to be honest. So I don't remember what all scaffold does. I know scaffold does a lot, but I don't remember what all scaffold does. So if you do scaffold, let's see. So they're doing Rails new cookbook. Generate scaffold recipe. So that creates this migration, creates this model, it creates some tests, creates resource routes, creates a controller, creates templates, tests for stuff, helpers for stuff, and build some assets. So in Django, when you do start project or start app, it will generate your app. It will generate your views file, your models file, your tests file, your forms file. I think, I don't remember now. It doesn't create the URLs file, so it creates the basic stuff that you need to have in order to start building your app. It doesn't go as far as Rails does on the scaffold, because Rails is making a lot of assumptions about where and how you want things to be, and those are not necessarily what you actually want to do. So Django errs on the side of not making decisions for you, and it just gives you the bare basics. So yeah, so Start App is similar to Rails' scaffold. Now, there are projects like Django Cookie Cutter that will do a large amount of that work for you. If you're like, nope, when I make an app, I always want these templates, and I always want this URLs, and I always want this thing, and I always want that thing. If that's the way you work, and that's the way you operate, then Django Cookie Cutter can do all of that and more, and it's very customizable. Jatasia asks, what are kwargs? Kwargs are keyword arguments. So whenever you make a function and you put in like name equals none or age equals 82 or whatever, in the def whatever, right? Those are kwargs because they have a name and an equal sign and then a value. If they don't have a name and an equal sign, then they're just args. Or if they just have a name, not an equal sign and value, that's it. Then they're just args. So kwargs is just a fast, easy way of saying keyword arguments. It's one that you will see all over the Python world. Humanoid, I don't know why you didn't get the email notifications. I'm guessing it's because, as you just said, you didn't turn on email notifications, only push. But from what I've heard, YouTube has started doing some weird stuff lately where notifications don't always go out. So, yeah, YouTube keeps screwing with stuff and messing people up. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you have the little bell turned on. All of that kind of stuff. You see a syntax error on company.py line 32. I'm going to bet, Pause, that you are not on Python 3.6. I'm going to bet that you are on Python 3.5, in which case you will need to do return edit object.name.format self. Something like that. That's going to be my guess, Pause, is that you are on Python 3.5 and not 3.6. Since I'm on 3.6, I get to use f-strings, and f-strings are amazing. F-strings are so great. Dark Dev, thanks for the nice words about my beard. I don't really do anything. It just kind of grows. It's just kind of there. Humanoid wants to know if I could do a live stream of making a Flask app after I finish with this one. Could, yes. Going to, no. It's not likely. Just because Flask and I are not the best of friends. And I've got some other plans for once this whole super long series wraps. I mean, we're 3 weeks in and we're still not done with the basic Django app. I still want to do the API. I still want to do the React or some sort of single-page web app front end for it. I still want to ideally do like an Android app for it. So we probably have another couple of months working on this. I hope you all will stick around for that. If everybody decides we need a break, then we can definitely do a break. But, we'll see. But yeah, so after that, I've got some other stuff that I want to do, that I want to play around with. So I don't know that we'll do a Flask app, but maybe, who knows? We might build something in Flask. I don't know. If you have a great idea for something to build in Flask, send it to me, and I'll think about it. Blackout, turn on your belt. I don't know what you mean by that. Turn on my belt. I don't see a belt around here. I'm not currently wearing a belt, so I can't turn on a belt. Sorry. All right. So, anybody else have any more questions? I'll wait another couple of minutes and then I will call it quits. It's currently 11 after 12. Mark says, I am new at learning web designing. Can you set me up with a fast learning videos? Oh, rip. Something dropped? I see some few dropped frames, but anyway, Mark, I can't necessarily set you up on any fast learning videos for web design. But a friend of mine, Tracy Osborne, just launched a Kickstarter called Hello Web Design. She put out a couple of really great Django books, and so she now has a Kickstarter called Hello Web Design. This Kickstarter is amazing, and if you want to get a copy of her books are great. She's been doing a series of blog posts on design for non-designers, so you might go check those out as well. Her name is Tracy Osborne. She is at limedaring.com is her stuff. So yeah, check out her stuff. Dark Dev says, do a Unity live stream once. I will, actually. I would love to do a Unity live stream. But that's going to have to be a long time from now. Because I don't know anything at all about Unity. Except for I built a little game where like you roll a ball around and pick up little crystals. Following a tutorial one time. That was, oh wow, back around Thanksgiving. So we'll find out. But maybe I'll do that. And then Lars says, have I looked into Vue.js as a front-end JS framework? I want to say I looked at... It's purple there, so it looks like I've looked at it. I want to say I've scrolled through and I've looked at it like a little bit, but I haven't really dove into it. So I'd have to say for right now, no, I haven't. But maybe. It's definitely a possibility. The reason I'm going with React for the front end of this is because if Android proves to just be too hard for me, which is not that hard to do, if Android proves to be a thing that I don't feel I can do confidently and comfortably on a stream, then I can go to React and I can do React Native and I can build a Android app that way, right? Or a Windows app or a Mac app or whatever it is that we want to build. So that's my plan, is that I can do React for both if I have to. So we'll see there. That's kind of all I got for that. And Dark Dev, yeah, that tutorial, I think it's like the official first tutorial for Unity. I was just doing it to play with it and see how it was gonna work. And it was cool. It was fun. I need to do a lot more Unity before I try and live stream it. One of our other teachers, one of the other teachers at Treehouse, Nick Pettit, he does a lot of Unity. He does a lot of not 3D, a lot of VR in Unity. So maybe he'll do some Unity live streams sometime. I don't know. I will ask him about it, or you all can bug him about it. You can go to twitter.com, NickRP, and you can tell this dude, wait, there we go, this dude, that you want him to do live streams over Unity and VR. So go bug Nick, and we'll get him to do stuff. Cameron says, suggest me some Django packages which will great to use day-to-day building Django projects. So that really depends on what you're doing. And if I don't know what you're doing day-to-day, I can't really tell you what to use. But there's a great website called djangopackages.org, which, right there, djangopackages.org. And if you go on here and you're like, okay, cool, I have to do email, then you can click email right there in the header, and here's all the packages that are listed as being email packages, right? There's a whole bunch of these, and you can see, like, here's the description of it. Here's how many people have come in and self-selected that they're using this. whether or not it supports Python 3, development status, all this kind of stuff. And then you can go check out the package on GitHub, on PyPI, on wherever you need to do, and go use that. Hey, there's one of my packages. So that's a great way to find packages that you need to use, because it really comes down to what you're doing in your day-to-day. If I was looking at this, though, I'd probably go with Django Mailer, because Spooky Lukey and Brosner and Paltman and Jay Tauber and Jezdez and Asana have all contributed to it, and those are all people that I know write really great code. So, yeah. Although this one's got Swice Good, you start to recognize these names, and you start going, I know, yeah, those people. How many of you, if any of you in the chat, are coming to PyCon or DjangoCon US? Either of those are US. Humanoid, do you think I should use Bootstrap? If you want to, Bootstrap's fine. If you don't want to use Bootstrap, Foundation is good. And there's another one that I really like that's called Tachyons. And Tachyons is like really, really simple, but it's kind of nice. Like, people have built some nice looking stuff using Tachyons, and its components are pretty good and simple. So, kind of depends on what you want to do. Should you use Bootstrap 4 if the thing you're deploying doesn't require other people to know how to work on it right away, or sorry, thing you're building, and you're cool with some things being broken? Go for Bootstrap 4. It has some really nice features to it. Other than that, though, Bootstrap 3 is still perfectly viable, and works really well. And where do I recommend learning Bootstrap? Read the docs. Read the if you go to getbootstrap.com, there's like this getting started thing, and they've got some pretty basic examples down here. Like, there's this basic template and these examples. Just kind of look through them and you'll see how stuff is laid out. Bootstrap is laid out amazingly simple. It's really not that crazy. I think we have some Bootstrap stuff on Treehouse, but I'm not certain. Excuse me. Dark Dev has come really far in Unity and C#, so you have a lot of experience. That's cool. I still want to get the C# course by Treehouse to Polish Become Better. I don't know if they do Unity in that course. I don't believe any of the C# stuff on Treehouse covers Unity, but if I remember correctly, there is some Unity stuff on Treehouse as well. So you should check that out. Ritesh, Google Chrome is not loading secure web protocol, so it's not loading HTTPS pages. I don't know if there's a solution for that. Lars, hey, if you're in Europe, though, DjangoCon Europe is amazing, and EuroPython is usually really good too. So go to both of those. Especially, like, DjangoCon Europe is ridiculous for conferences. They had a circus one year. They rented an entire island one year. They've done amazing stuff. So check that out. And you know what? Just because I work for Treehouse doesn't mean I always recommend Treehouse. I think we're really good at a lot of stuff, but there are tons and tons of other resources out there for learning things. We are not the only show in town. And if you've got other stuff that you want to learn from, go learn from there, because that's good. That's fine. Cool. Okay. And then Castriot says, what kind of projects should I use Django and what projects not? So if you're building something that's a traditional website or web app, Django's pretty good. If you're building something that has forms, models, request response cycle, then those are really great places to use Django. Django is slowly getting into the real-time web stuff. There's a project called Django Channels that's aimed at getting Django to using WebSockets natively, like all the time, all the place. So if you need WebSockets, check out Channels, but it's not 100% stable. It's not 100% done yet. So it might be a thing you hold off on. Other than that, though, Django works pretty well for anything that's on the internet. It'd be a little weird using it to build desktop software, but I suppose with things like React Native or web views, then you could totally do that. Yeah. Ritesh, I'm not going to show you my internet downloading speed. That's ridiculous. Rohit, I don't control prices at all at Treehouse. I'm sorry about that. If you email into support at teamtreehouse.com and talk to them about it. They might have something they can do. I don't know for certain. Dark Dev, I get paid whether I tell y'all to use Treehouse or not. So, I mean, obviously I want Treehouse to stay in business and we need people to come and subscribe to us to stay in business, but you know, I'm not a shill. Lars, I have tried channels. Yeah, Lars asks if I've tried channels yet. I've tried it just a teeny little bit. I did a pro workshop on Treehouse over it, which came out in late December, I want to say. And yeah, it's not bad at all. It's a little weird. I don't fully understand it yet. I need to play with it more before I try and build anything else with it. But it is pretty cool, and it's pretty simple. I mean, you install channels, you add it to your project, you set up a couple of routing things, and then you basically just send messages to channels or watch for messages on channels, and that's it. And then on the JavaScript side, you just pull in, you know, the WebSocket, and you're done. So it's pretty simple. It's a lot easier than I thought it would be. If you are interested in channels, there is a talk from DjangoCon US last year that's kind of high level about Django channels, and it's from Andrew Godwin, who's the person who created channels. And he also did a talk at PyCon over Django channels, PyCon US. That was really good too. So check those out if you want a bit more information, like high level, like what this thing is, when would I use it. Yeah. Other than that, yeah, I don't know a ton about channels. Dark Dev, yeah, monthly payments are great for some people. They're not great for others. Same for doing like a la carte, right? Where it's like, oh, I just want this one course, let me have that. That's good for some people, and it's not good for others. So we like the monthly because that way you can just have everything that we do, and you don't have to do piecemeal stuff. So you can always do 1 month, watch the course, and then cancel if you really wanted to. Ritesh, I am not sitting, I am standing up. Cameron, yeah, it can be really difficult finding packages, but that's why Django packages is so handy. You can look at the packages that relate to just the thing you need to do, and then narrow it down. I don't have day-to-day, everyday Django packages that I use because I don't write Django all day, every day anymore. Django braces, tooting my own horn there, is one that I always used. Django registration is usually really good to use. Django debug toolbar is amazing. That's probably all I would recommend from the very beginning. Other than that, it depends on what you're doing. Django REST framework, because you're probably going to need a REST framework at some point. Kestraya, what backend language do I recommend for 2017? Python, of course. What else would you use? No, Python's really good. Python is actually gaining in popularity. It's a very strong language. 3.6 just came out, which brings some amazing features to it. So Python, I think, is still very solid. JavaScript is amazingly well, like, it has come so far from where it was when I first started learning JavaScript 15 years ago, 20 years ago. So it does amazing things. Kotlin looks really nice. I don't know. C# looks pretty cool. I don't really track programming languages all that much. Like, languages are not important. You pick a language you like and you go build stuff in it. They're all fairly equivalent. Just kind of do whatever, you know? Like, just build your stuff. Ritesh says, can you build a voice recognition AI? Can I? No. Could I with enough research? Maybe. Maybe we'll try it in a couple months. Humanoid, I didn't pick the pink, but when they showed me the pink, I was very happy with it. I didn't mind the pink at all. I thought the pink was awesome. I do a lot of work with Django girls and Pie ladies and diversity stuff, so I was very happy to have such a silly color in there. Pause. Great to have you. We'll see you next week. Yeah, all auth is a great one, Lars, as is Python social auth, but sometimes that one doesn't work so great. Amrit, which skills pay highly in IT industry? Data science pays a lot, quite often. A really good DevOps or SysOps person is indispensable. And programmers in general usually get paid pretty well. So, I don't know. As far as IT, though, it's probably going to be like server setup. What part of the country is better to start jobs for web designers? From Mark. I don't think it matters. This is the internet. Just build whatever, get your name out there, right? Just go do the thing you want to do. Ritesh, how can we merge two programming languages? Look into bytecode. Bytecode and transpilers. But you probably don't want to merge two programming languages. Just completed engineering and about to enter IT. What programming language recommend C# or Java? You're probably going to find more Java opportunities than you do C# right now. But they're both really good and they're both widespread. So whichever one you'd like to use. But everybody, it is almost 12:30. I need to get out of here. I've got a kid waiting on me to play video games with him. So I'm going to get out. But thank you all for joining in. Thanks for watching the stream and asking questions and helping out. I will see all of you next week. Same time, same channel, same all that stuff. Have a great weekend. Talk to you all later.